the management at United Bank of India with us. Let me start with Syndicate Bank first. Mrutyunjay, Mahapatra, Managing Director and CEO at Syndicate Bank is with us. So if we just talk about the PSU space, a lot of brokerages are pointing out that the reduced tail risk has been seen as far as PSB banks are concerned. PSB bank situation overall is improving, led by lower bad loans, higher coverage and the capital that has come in. How would you comment on this?
I think you are broadly right in terms of articulating those things. Yes, the NPA situation in the corporate sector is bottoming out, and the other sectors which were showing some amount of variations in terms of NPA, those are also showing as if we are seeing the bottom of it. And provision coverage ratio, for example, in my bank is set to go up to nearly 67-68% in the coming quarter end. So I would generally agree, yes, the value which was kind of getting hidden because of the NPA scenario and other things, it is coming down. So I hope the market will value us much better than it has been in the past few quarters.
All right, fair enough. We have Ashok Pradhan also joining us, MD and CEO at United Bank of India. Mr. Pradhan, good morning and thanks for being with us as well. Analysts believe that although the balance sheet for some banks have improved, the return ratio still remains in single digits. Would that be a fair assumption? What's the kind of deposit growth that you foresee as well going forward and the trends that you're tracking right now?
Yeah, there are two things. One, I just said the deposit, as far as deposit is concerned, am I clear?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. As far as deposit is concerned, my bank is doing well. We are pretty strong going on CASA front. Our CASA is in the range of 49-50%. So that is giving us much comfort in terms of pricing our advance related products. As far as return on asset is concerned, it is because of the legacy issues. So many corporate accounts going back at one point in time, they have hit the banks, and I think that we have seen the worst phase over now. And as far as my bank is concerned, I am expecting substantial improvement in NPA resolution in this quarter and the coming quarters. Even though my gross NPA continues to be pretty high, it is about 21%. I am expecting a substantial reduction this quarter, more than 3,000 crores of reduction we are hoping. And as far as NNP is concerned, we should be around 9 to 10%. On return on assets, I expect we should be positive this quarter. I will be making it on around this quarter. And hereafter, I see all the positives coming in the next quarters.
All right, fair enough. Let me just take that forward as well, Mr. Mahapatra, and get your take as well in terms of deposit growth, in terms of outlook going forward. What's the kind of improvement we can see, when it comes to the FY19 end and also FY20, just getting a sense of the outlook for the sector altogether.
Deposit growth, I believe, will be slightly sluggish because this is an election year and a lot of money and currency that is in circulation with the public will take some time to come back into the system. As far as the bulk deposits are concerned, I think there is some redemption money that is coming out from the mutual fund sector. So that is coming to the market. So I believe it will even out. But if you look at the alternate things like the 10-year T-bill rate, it is holding pretty much steady. So, and RBI has also declared that through OMO it will inject some more liquidity. So with the overall situation, that is money coming in from the mutual fund sector to the banking sector, and RBI's additional liquidity that is promised through OMO and the repo operations, I think the little bit of strain that could be there because of the currency circulation going up will ease out. And the growth in savings bank deposit continues to be steady for my bank as well as for the banking sector in general. However, the overall current account growth has not kept pace, so we are working on that. So my take is that for the next quarter, the deposit growth will remain lower than the advances growth, and the banking system in general will have to deal with that liquidity pressure for the coming 2-3 months.
Right. So when we just talk about, what's happening in terms of loan growth, can you just tell us what will be the basic as far as loan growth pickup is concerned? Where do you expect the loan growth pickup to come in from the PSB space?
The PSB space as a whole is, some banks are growing at around 3 to 4% and some are growing at around 10 to 11%. The main growth drivers in the economy, as we are listening to the NBFC sector, is happening in the MSME sector, where the NBFC are growing much higher than the public sector bank sector, or for that matter even the private sector bank. The MSME growth has been a little muted, but we have all kind of put in machinery to get back our rightful space there. So MSME growth will be very good, and I'm also expecting that in the corporate sector some of the industries are showing green shoots, and if that sustains next quarter, we should be able to grow, because the base has come down after resolutions and recoveries in the corporate sector. I hope that from that base we can, for example, my bank, we have projected a growth of between 5 to 6% in the next 3 to 4 months. And in the agri sector, I think if the monsoon holds, then there will be the normal growth, which we have seen that during this particular season, that the monsoon season, when sowing happens and the other agriculture input credit also are released, we see generally 6 to 8% growth in the 3 to 4 month period beginning from April to about July. And in the retail sector, housing sector, now there has been some relaxation by the government in terms of tax and GST on unbuilt stock. I hope that the housing sector, which was plateauing in terms of growth, will again pick up the growth.
Great. Mr. Pradhan, let me bring you in as well. Now, United Bank still remains under the PCA. Any clarity on when you may come out, and also, what's your outlook on overall profitability, asset quality, return ratios as well? Any internal targets that you're tracking at this point on coming back to profits?
Yeah, let me speak of United Bank of India first before I respond to the broader question. As I told you, we'll be making a turnaround this quarter. So this will be giving the first breakthrough in terms of our coming out of the red. And I hope we will be continuously in profit hereafter. This is the first thing. And second, in terms of asset quality you were talking about, I see, as I told you, the worst has already happened. All those corporate accounts which were hitting the banking industry all through, recognition part is over. Bankers have made substantial provisions, so that won't be a big problem as far as future comforts are concerned. In United Bank of India, as far as NCD accounts go, we have made a provision of about 75%, so I do not see any other thing hitting us or affecting us in our future quarters. If I look at the total overall business proposition that is going to happen in the banking industry, deposit growth will remain muted, as Mahapatra was talking about. Of course, in United Bank of India, we have a unique position in this part of the country. We are hugely spread out in the east and northeast. As I told, our CASA is very robust, and we are seeing a savings growth of about 7 to 8% as of now. Current account growth has remained muted, so it is partly because of the government departments' money going out and now more of the money will also be going out. But as far as retail growth is concerned, if I look at the banking industry, I think I expect a substantial growth on the retail front to more than 10 to 12%. In United Bank of India, I am expecting a growth of 14 to 15% on the retail front. On MSME, we would expect a growth of about 8 to 10%. Agriculture bank growth would be around 6 to 7%. Of course, If the potato season is now on, if the potato season picks up, I should be expecting a growth of around 8% on agriculture. On corporate front, we are not very aggressive. I am thinking on the run sheet in terms of corporate. I do not see any new big projects coming. So overall, the banking industry, the advances growth will not be that big. Whatever will be big growth on the corporate front, that will be possibly made up from the retail and MSME segment. And we, United Bank of India, in the East and Northeastern, will continue to maintain our unique position. So that is an advantage to the bank, and I expect the bank will be looking forward to for a better tomorrow from this quarter onwards. And as far as PCA is concerned, I am expecting we should be out of PCA on our own by second quarter next financial year.
Right, Mr. Pradhan, thanks so much for taking out time for us, as well as Mr. Mahapatra. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.